Hey, welcome to the MatchPlay Podcast. I'm Jeff, and this is my buddy Bill. Today, we're going to be talking about the biggest peeves on the golf course, and that means the proper etiquette when you're playing a round of golf. So, let's kick it off. Bill, what you got?
We're talking making sure you're playing golf to the best of your ability, as well as not interfering with anybody else's time out there. It comes down to the basic stuff. We'll start green backwards kind of deal. Basic etiquette for green guys, if you've never been out there and you're just learning, is the furthest person away from the hole has the honors and goes first. Now, there's exceptions to that rule, like playing ready golf and everything like that, but the furthest person away from the hole is the one that wants to be going first. And it's very conscious to understand the order of play, as well as where you are in relation to other players. We don't want to be stepping on lines. That's a good way to piss a lot of people off. Watching your shadow, making sure that we're not laying our own personal shadow over the line, and just allowing our whole foursome to enjoy the day and play as well as they can.
Yeah, you summarized that perfectly. That's pretty much
Thank you.
That's pretty much sums up the ethics of golf. It's just don't get in the way, be conscious of where your shadow's at, try to not interfere with another player's game, because obviously stepping on their line affects the way that the ball will roll on the green. Pace of play, just play ready golf. Obviously, if you're playing in a tournament, it's furthest out first. But when you're just playing your typical round of golf, it's just try and be conscious of where your playing partners are and have a good time. Obviously, ready golf when you're just playing your standard round of golf makes it fun for everyone, because who wants to be on a golf course for 6 hours? Me, I do, just not waiting for 6 hours. I'd rather be done in 3 and just having a good time. And that's honestly how fast golf should be. It gets pushed to those longer timelines because people aren't being conscious of how they're playing or what kind of golf they're playing that day. Sometimes they're playing money games and they're taking it super seriously, and maybe it's not the right place to do that on a public course on a Saturday or Sunday, but it happens. But the more conscious you can be about who's playing with you, it makes golf more welcoming to everyone. And that's why etiquette is so important and pace of play is so important. So just be conscious of who you're playing with, how you're playing. Play ready golf when the time's right. Play serious golf when you're playing in tournaments or playing for money, and that's probably going to be happening at a less busy golf course like a country club that you're paying to be in. Because the goal is for everyone to enjoy the game and to grow the game. So just conscious of your shadow, conscious of where people are playing from, and you'll find you enjoy the game a lot more, and so does everyone else playing in front of you and behind you.
And on that same point, in terms of enjoying the golf course more, especially if you're a country club member, if you go to a regular municipal, I know I do, my local course right around the corner here. A big thing that we fight at my local course is people not repairing, their pitch marks on the green, their divots in the fairway. That's what these sand balls are for. Take the time. It takes 2 seconds. It's a very valuable skill to learn if you plan on playing golf, and how to properly fix a divot.
Yeah, it makes the biggest difference in the course conditions.
Absolutely.
Longevity-wise. The course gets destroyed if you don't fix one divot. I ultimately will go around and fix my divot and at least 2 others while I'm out there. Sometimes there's some in my line that I fix anyway because I want to make sure that my putt has the best chance of going in the hole. But even if you don't have one in your line, you got to wait. You're going to read your line. It's going to take a few seconds, but there's other people putting. You can get out of their way so you're not in their field of vision and fix 1 or 2 more. It's just going to make the game more enjoyable for everyone else, as well as you long term.
Absolutely. If you put in that little extra work, and there's, you might think, oh man, I got no time. I got to get ready. I got to do this. There's always a few seconds, from reading a line, walking up to your putt, seeing some stuff, to just do this simple stuff. And if you make it a habit of yours and find that, that little onesie-twosie thing that helps keep the course in as good a shape as it can be, it'll only further your own enjoyment of being at that establishment, as well as everybody else that's going to be there. And
exactly,
it's a great habit to get into. Going all the way back to the tee box here in terms of etiquette stuff. If you're new to this and you don't know, very, very basic. The person who achieved the lowest score on the hole prior has the honors for the tee box. And that can be birdie to an eagle, a bunch of pars, carry on from the one prior. There's a lot of things to realize who is actually, whose turn is it to play. But going back to Jeff's point of pace of play, it's always good to establish and have an understanding of where you are in the rotation, so we don't get these long lulls on the tee box. It's very easy to go surfing through the bag for some tees or something like that, but just make sure we're on it. It comes back to, pace of play, being ready, getting in your own routine, and keeping up with the group in front of you, which is another big point about etiquette, and pace of play. Make sure that you're in the right location for your foursome relative to the rest of the field and people that are playing.
Yeah, and if you're playing slow and you don't really see yourself speeding up or having the ability to speed up, let people play through, because it's just going to make it more enjoyable for them. You'll get to keep the pace that you're playing at, which isn't ideal, but at least it'll let the people behind you have the chance to play the game that they want to be playing and get through their round. And there's nothing wrong just being honest and saying, hey, you want to play through. You could play half the hole together where you all tee off together and then they finish and then they go through you. It's just going to let you play that little slower pace and not kill the pace of play for the entire golf course for that day.
Absolutely.
Moving back to that tee box, I mean, if someone's got honors, if you're going to take the tee box from them, at least ask.
Yeah, right.
Usually they'll offer if they're like, no, go ahead. But at least ask.
Yeah, and that it could be different for certain groups and whatnot. You could have an established, who is ever ready, person just made a birdie on the last hole, they're rifling through their bag for something, go up there and hit it if you got the fairway clear. Obviously have that discussion, prior to you actually doing it, or have that preset kind of pace of play, mentality within your group to kind of go out there and just, hit it and everybody's good with it. Some people can get very upset if you take their honors.
Yeah. Yes, they can. So, I mean, the best way to do is just communicate with your playing partners, whether they're your standard weekly playing partners that you've got in the loop every single week, or if they're just a random that you got paired up with. Just say, hey, ready golf, is that good with you? And go from there. I mean, you can establish the round etiquette, let's say, because etiquette can slightly change round to round. It shouldn't, but letting that leeway happen is just going to make golf more enjoyable for you as well as whoever you play with. So it's a good rule of thumb. Just ask, make the statement about how you want to play that day, and go from there.
Absolutely. And for that, guys, we're out for this week. Fix your divots, fix your pitch marks on the green, and go have a good time playing golf. See y'all next time.